are live!
We're live! What's up, guys?
So if this is your first time tuning into the Sheroic podcast or Facebook Live, well, I'm Cassey.
And I'm Lisa.
And welcome to the Sheroic podcast.
Hello.
Yeah. So we are in our podcast room, and we like going live because we get to talk to you guys. You get to ask a bunch of different questions, and we will answer them. And just have a conversation.
Yeah.
For the next hour.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's super excited.
Yeah.
So we've pulled a first question to start with. But guys, if you're watching live, please put in some questions, comments. Please share this if it's bringing you value.
Oh, yes, and keep hearting. I like seeing those on the screen. They make me so happy.
So actually, yeah, we can see the screen and we can see you guys. We can't read it because it's a little small, but we can definitely see the hearts.
Yeah.
So, man, if you're on your phone, start pressing that heart.
Start pressing it.
And yeah, please ask questions and we'll answer them live.
Yeah.
But we got one ready.
We got one ready.
So let's kick it off.
Okay.
Well, so as people know, something big just happened to you recently.
Yes. I haven't gone on live to say any of this. In fact, I don't even know if I did an IG story on this.
Oh, is this an exclusive?
Maybe. Guys, I just got engaged.
Oh my God.
Yes. Here, let me
Yeah,
show you.
get close. Show them. Look at that bad boy.
Hey, this was custom designed by my little sister Jacqueline and my fiance Sam. So it's very special to me.
Do you want to explain? Like, isn't there like a whole like what it means?
Oh,
or
well, here's a funny story. I don't wear rings. Before this, I actually really, I just didn't very much like jewelry, especially not things on my hands because, you know, when you're lifting weights or whatever. And so 1 week before we were heading to Kauai, I actually went up to Sam. This has nothing to do with the proposal or whatever. I had just seen a College Humor video that was saying that weddings are just like a big sham and people just overcharge you and all this crazy stuff and like break traditions. And so I went up to Sam and I was like, you know, if we ever get married, like, don't get me a ring. I would rather you take that money and invest it in starting a new business or something like that. Like, I would much rather see that. So I didn't know, but at that time, Sam and Jacqueline were really like rushing to get this ring done in time for like our trip to Kauai and all that kind of stuff. And basically,
the poor man must have had a bit of a heart attack.
A little bit. But my sister had asked me like 3 weeks ago. No, sorry. 3 or 4 months ago. Hey, Cassey, if you had to have a ring, which one would you choose? And I was like, I don't like rings. I can't choose. And she was like, no, but seriously, if you had to. So I was like, okay, I guess I just want it to look like a rose on a vine. And she's like, wait, what? Like, you don't want, like, a traditional classic ring with, like, you know, stones and all that? I was like, no, I don't know, just, like, flowers. I don't even want it to look like a wedding ring. And so they designed it. So this is, like, a cluster design. It has little pink, an ombre of pink stones because I love pink. And it's on a rose gold band.
That's awesome.
So that's that.
That's amazing. And what's even funnier is we had just shot an episode about dating, which we just released yesterday.
I know.
And when we recorded it, it was just before you went on vacation, so you had no idea.
I had no idea. So as I read some of the comments and people were like, I feel like I'm a part of some like espionage group because like it's like I know that Cassey's about to get proposed to, but she has no idea.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And so, so what we ended up doing is we pulled one question about relationships because we thought it was a good starting off point. And my computer is having issues connecting to the internet. So Michelle, you want, So Michelle's off screen here, and we decided that if I'm having problems with internet, she's just going to yell out some questions. So if you want to yell out some questions,
so
Michelle.
This is from Janelle, who submitted this question on our website.
Okay.
Wait, is this the same Janelle that won the giveaway?
I don't think so. Different Janelle.
Oh, different Janelle. Okay.
I love all you Janelles.
She asks, how do you balance your own identity and independence within your relationship? Cassey has been with Sam for a long time, and Lisa has been married for quite some time. Congrats, both of you. And as a woman who has been married for 4+ years, I'd love some advice and thoughts from you two.
All right. So I hope people at home heard it. I don't know if they can.
Maybe paraphrase it real quick.
Yeah. So how do you basically keep your independence and your own identity when you're in a long-term relationship, or when you're? How do you balance that?
Do you want to take it?
Yeah. All right. I think the key is to really hold true to who you are. Like, what are the things that you identify with that you feel like is part of you, right? Like, for me, it is being a strong woman, someone who has opinions and isn't afraid to speak up, somebody who likes lifting heavy in the gym. Like, I see that as an identity. And so if my relationship ends up conflicting with my identity, I would have to talk to my other half about that, because the second you start letting go of your identity and who you are, I don't think that serves your relationship. So figure out what your identity is, figure out who you are, write the things that are really important to you, and then make sure you don't stray from them. And then if your relationship comes into conflict, you need to address that with your other half. Because if tomorrow Tom says, hey, I don't like that you lift weights, I don't find it attractive, and I don't like your muscle, well, my identity is going in the gym and lifting heavy. So I would have to sit with him and tell him what it means to me and why it's important to me. Because if I was just like, all right, babe, I'm not going to work out, oh my God, that's letting go of something that is very, fundamental to my beliefs and who I am.
Yeah, that's exactly perfect. I also think that when you're younger, sometimes you don't really understand love. And so all you want is to get your crush to really like you. So you kind of become that girl that you think they want you to be. And that can be very dangerous. I think when we're young, we kind of do that and realize that's kind of stupid. And as you get older, you're like, F everything, I'm just going to be myself and you got to love me for me. And I have seen relationships where the girl or even the guy tries to mold themselves so much to be the perfect partner that it ends up becoming a facade of a relationship. It's just not real. And so at the end, someone blows up and it's like, I can't do this anymore. And the other side's just like, wait, what do you mean? Don't you like doing this the whole time? Right. And so both sides have been getting a false sense of how strong the relationship is. And so yeah, just like Lisa said, know what makes you you and stay true to it. And I also think a very critical part of finding who you are is, for example, if you just got out of a relationship, like take some time to be single, to be alone, to know who you are. Because if you are jumping from relationship to relationship, you can kind of get muddled in feelings and expectations and all this kind of stuff. So I would recommend you try to take some time for yourself to understand that.
That's actually really important, because I think a lot of people do. I've done that in the past.
Yeah, me too. I've done that too. Yeah. Because you just want to make someone happy.
You do. Because it makes you feel good though, right?
Right.
It's like you're impressing the guy. He gives you like the positive feedback.
Right.
You get excited. So you're like, oh, I'm going to do more of it to please him, versus it being about what is right for you. And then as a result, it pleases him.
Right. But then at some point you burn out.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing that. There has to be sacrifices on both sides. Not to say that the entire relationship is a sacrifice, but it's going to be a push and pull, but a little dance. And that's totally normal and natural.
A little dance. I like
little
that.
Dance, yes.
Dance. All right. It looks like my Wi-Fi is back up and working.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. All right, so we've got a question from Facebook Live. Thank you guys for asking already. Love it. So this is from Mandy. When I'm with my boyfriend and a hot woman walks by, I can't help but feel a little insecure. Of course, we're human and we can naturally acknowledge if other people are attractive. However, men are also more physically driven. How do I stop comparing myself to other women?
Okay, so this seems like, and she mentioned it, her own insecurity. But I'm curious, like, did her man look the other woman up and down or not? Right. She didn't mention it, so maybe he didn't. And I just, the emotional, mental, and spiritual bond that you have with your partner has got to mean so much more than just a little physical distraction. So if you really believe that your relationship is strong, like, I don't think that should affect the relationship. The insecurity then probably comes from something else, like maybe a body image issue that you have. So that may be something that you need to work on with yourself and with your partner. Because if your partner is telling you constantly that you're so beautiful, I'm so attracted to you, then I don't think that insecurity is there. So maybe something's happening that makes her feel like she's not good enough, whether that's her own past, something he said, like I don't know. But if the relationship is strong, I feel like a hot girl walking by shouldn't really affect the relationship. Because sometimes when I'm with Sam, we both will be like, oh, look, it's a really hot girl. I'll be like, yeah, she's so hot. And then like we move on with our lives. I mean, do you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's body parts that I desperately want. So if I see a girl that's got like this great butt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I so want that butt. I'll like make sure, like, I'll say to Tom, like, oh, what do you think about that butt? Like, do you think she's got a good tushy? Because like, that's what I'm trying to get to. So like, I think it can be part of it. So taking that insecurity, right, where I feel like my butt is kind of flat.
Right. Mine too. I feel like my butt is kind of flat.
You've got a lovely booty.
Me?
Yeah.
No. Well, okay. I'm not going to say
Thumbs up
no.
if you think Cassie's got a great booty.
Well, it's my own unique booty, and you have your own unique booty.
But if it's something that you're insecure about, and I wouldn't say I'm insecure about my butt, but I definitely recognize that it's flat. So, so what I do though is I take something. Let's call it a flaw. I take a flaw of mine that I want to improve. And instead of like shying away and going, oh my God, I hope he doesn't look at that other girl's butt because it's better than mine, I actually embrace it.
Right.
And there's so much freedom in embracing it.
I agree.
So it's like, yeah, my butt's not as good as that. Babe, what do you think about that? Because that's what I'm going to try and get to. And then when I'm in the gym, I actually will also use that as motivation, right? So I'll be like, okay, he liked that butt. I want that butt. And I'm like, you know, like say that in my head in the gym.
Cute. That's so cute. You know, sometimes I will do that and be like, oh, like, right, for example, like, she has a really good butt. And then Sam always says, no, but I like your butt better. Like, he'll always do that. And I think he actually means it. So I don't know.
Cool.
Sam just knows exactly what to say, but I do believe that he means what he's saying.
Yeah. And you actually brought something up earlier as well. Is like, does he look and stare? Because that's a thing of just like, I guess for me, if Tom did that and it made me uncomfortable, I would be honest with him. And I would say, because you've already acknowledged that other people are more attractive and that's how humans are, which I love that you can be that honest about it. But if he was looking and staring, even though I know it's a trait that men have where they're going to look at something pretty if something walks by, I would approach it and say, hey, look, I totally get that when other attractive things come your way, your eyes may wander. Totally get that. But if you don't mind when you're with me, please don't do it because it makes me feel X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I'm working on X, Y, and Z because I know it's an insecurity of mine. But if you can help be a part of this and help me get over it, and like, I'd really appreciate it. I always find that when you do it together, it doesn't feel like you're kind of like keeping the secret or testing them or they're testing you.
Right. The whole testing thing, I think that's like things I used to do when I was younger.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, we have this one life, just say it like how it is and let's figure it out. Or if we can't, then, well, we're going to have to figure some other things out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for submitting questions. Looks like they're coming in full force. So yeah, please do. I'm just going to keep saying it. If you've just joined us, please drop some comments or questions in the comment box and we'll happily answer them. And then if this is bringing you value, guys, please do share it. That is our one ask.
It means so much to us.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the next question?
I'm so ready.
Let's do this. This is from Holly Esposito.
Okay. Oh, that's like Despacito. Despacito, Despacito, because I don't know any other lyrics except for that.
So I'm sure the poor woman's like horrified now that we butchered her name. So Holly asks, I have a question about moving out of state for my dream job. How do I know I'm going to love the job being away from my family and friends? I know Cassey moved across country and I want to hear all about it. Do I chase my dream in a different state or do I stay with my loved ones for an okay job? Oh, that hurt just saying okay job.
You can't stay for the okay job. Okay, here's the thing. I totally get that you love your family, you want to be around them, and then you have your own dreams too. I moved out of state for what I thought was going to be my dream job. And so I actually have a kind of a semi-opposite situation than hers, where I wanted some space from the parents. And I was chasing my dream job. I thought this was going to work out for me, and it didn't. And so here's the thing. You don't know. until you try. So move, take that chance, and maybe it opens other opportunities. Maybe some of your loved ones will move with you because your job's going so well. Like, I don't know, but it's really always so inspiring to be in a new environment and to have the freedom to just try new things. One of the things that I would say that I regret about when I was in college is that I never had a chance to study abroad because I was so, well, my parents wanted me to really get through school and get into medical school and to, like, you know, be very on track. And so I was never able to, for example, travel to China and live there for 6 months and just kind of figure it out. I really think that kind of stuff is so much fun, and it's not comparable to a vacation because you are there, you're living as a part of the culture, and you just kind of got to figure it out. And I think that is just so exciting. And so I would say move to the new land and take on your dream job with full force. And if you find that having a dream job doesn't make you happy because you're not around those who love you, then cool. Resign from the job, move back. I mean, I think you can't know anything for sure in life. You just can't.
Yeah, I think that absolutely goes to the thing that we've spoken about often is facing your fear, right? So it's like, what is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is you absolutely hate it and you're going to miss your family like crazy and you're going to say, oh my God, this isn't for me. Amazing. Now you know. Right? Now you know. Now you're not living the next 10, 20 years going, what if?
And that's the worst.
Yeah.
Not knowing.
Right.
Especially when you had the opportunity to try.
Yeah, exactly. Now, because you, though, left, but part of it was your family, what if that wasn't a factor? Would you have found it more difficult to kind of leave?
No, I think I've always been super career-driven, goal-driven, and I knew this is something that I wanted, and so I just went for it. Yeah. But everyone's different.
Right.
Everyone's totally different. So just take my advice with a grain of salt, as they say, and see what works for you. But I'm all about...
Your advice is genius. Don't take it with a grain of salt. Take it. Right? Because
wait, what does it mean to take advice with a grain of salt?
I think because it's tiny. Like, just do it as like a part of the whole.
Is that what it means? I
have
know
no
what
idea.
it means.
If you guys know exactly what taking a grain of salt means, please let us know.
I feel like there's all these like metaphors or whatever you call these things, and I use them, but I'm not sure if I'm using it right.
Maybe because a grain of salt is so small, so it's like just take a part of it.
I don't know. It says take it with a grain of salt. Anyway,
I made
let's
that
move
up.
on.
Yeah, let's move on. All right. So next question is from Maria Kerrigan. Question about working out. How do you know your limits? I'm confused each time when it comes to deciding how much I should work out a week. I can do it every day, but then I start losing more weight than I should, and my butt disappears.
Here's the thing with the butt. I guess I'll start off with that.
Yeah, go for it.
How much do you think you should be working out? Well, I think it's really important to listen to your body, number one. You mentioned that you were losing too much weight and you were losing your butt. So it seems like you're unhappy with that. So I think you need to find a balance between what you want to look and feel like and how many times you want to work out because maybe it makes you feel good. So, I mean, this question is always interesting to me because it's super prescriptive. It's all yours. There's no like, you need to work out this many hours a day and eat this many calories and all this kind of stuff. It's really up to you. And if you do really like working out 7 times a week and working out 1 to 1.5 hours a day, cool, do it. But if you feel like you're losing your butt and you're losing too much weight, then up your calories and food. It's just going to be a dance between the food and the workout and also the type of workout too. Just keep experimenting.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm very goal oriented. So the first thing I would ask myself is, what am I trying to achieve, right? If you're trying to achieve just general fitness and you realize like, okay, I can stay fit by working out 3 days a week, then great.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build muscle, like for me, I have a goal right now of trying to do 10 pull-ups. So that means that I need to make sure that my diet's on point, right? Because I have to be intaking enough calories to make sure that I'm getting stronger each time I'm trying. But for instance, like last week I was in the gym and I was like, Lisa, like you're slacking. Like I'm up to now 3 pull-ups that I can do, like super easy, strain as a 4.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is taking too long, Lisa. You need to step up your game. So of course I went in the gym and I was like, huh! And I like totally like grabbed the weights, and then of course I completely pulled my shoulder out, and I ended up taking 4 days off the gym, and I had to go to the chiropractor, and that held me back. So then I realized I have to be sensible about it as well. So So work towards your goals, be sensible, but be realistic. Like, what are you trying to achieve, and then how do you actually get there? And then act accordingly.
Yep.
All right. So next question.
My Wi-Fi's down.
Oh
So-
no, we've got Wi-Fi down.
From Mandy.
Okay, you want to shout it out just in case they can't hear you? You may
Yeah.
need to shout it out a bit more.
Okay. How do you tell a friend that they are in a toxic romantic relationship?
Ooh. That's a tough one. So how do you tell a friend that they're in a toxic romantic relationship? First of all, I think it depends what type of relationship you have, right?
Yeah.
Because there are some friends, like,
yeah.
no matter how toxic, you just can't tell them.
And the type of person that woman or whoever your friend is, can she take it, and how do you show her? You know, sometimes I feel like with love or with anything, the person needs to figure out by themselves, or feel like they figured it out by themselves. Because if you tell someone something, if they don't want to hear it, they're not going to hear it, and you're just going to feel like a really pestering, annoying person, and they're going to distance themselves away from you, because I've experienced this before. So if the person is open to criticism, which I am very open, like after I give a speech or something, I'm always asking people around me, like, how did I do? Tell me the truth. Like, I want to hear it right then and there. And then there's some people that like to live in a positive bubble, and they don't want to know what's going on because it feels good to feel safe and happy. I think maybe you ask certain questions. You know, I don't know.
Because here's sometimes the problem, right?
Yeah.
Don't you have those friends that come to you and they're like, I can't believe, and they complain about their other half. You
Okay.
give them advice,
Right?
and they don't take it, and they come back to you again, and they say, oh my God, I can't believe. And then you give them the same advice, and then they don't take it again.
Yeah.
By like the third or fourth time, do they actually want to hear the advice, or are they attracted to the drama of that relationship? Now we're opening a whole can of worms.
No, because I am dealing with a person like this right
Okay.
now. And sometimes that person is too afraid to leave the relationship. And it becomes tiring for me to have to hear the complaints all the time, give my advice, and they're not taking it. And then simply repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And so it's like, I think she wants to be helped, but she's not willing to take the steps to do it. And I just feel that with that kind of stuff, like, I cannot take someone's hand and drag them out of the situation, because it's not my place to do that. And there's only, all I can offer now is a sounding board. Like, that's
Yeah.
all I am. And like, and I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
One thing I do when somebody is not complaining but has issues and
Yeah.
has a problem, especially when they're close to me, I'll say, are you looking for a sounding board? Like, are you looking for me just to listen, or are you actually looking for advice? Because now you've positioned them to say, I'm looking for advice. Because then when you give it, they can't push back. Because you're like, hey, you just asked me for advice. You asked me for my opinion.
Yeah.
So I always
That's a
kind
good
of
way.
start with that.
Yeah.
Because if they're like, I'm just looking to get it off my chest, cool. Now you sit back, you let them talk, you let them go on, and then you just then move on to the next conversation. But if they're like, no, I really want your opinion, then you can give it to them without feeling like you're stepping on their toes.
So what happens if you see someone in a toxic relationship and they're not complaining? Do you even bring it up?
Yeah.
So I think that's how I originally envisioned this question being
That's
phrased.
interesting. Okay.
And so that's why I was having a lot of trouble, because sometimes you don't know where your boundaries are. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if someone is being physically abused and like that sort of situation, like, yeah, we need to
Right.
get her out. We need
Right.
to call authorities and things like that. But it's always hard to tell when it's like a mental abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. I think if you're close enough, maybe you'll realize it, and maybe start asking light questions. And then hopefully if that person is at a safe point to open up to you, then you'll get to find out more and help that person get out of the relationship, or help make the relationship better.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough one.
Tough.
Tough.
Well, let us know how it goes, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yes, I don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to read another one.
all right, Michelle's reading. Are these live questions that
Yeah,
are coming in?
These are live.
Okay,
coming in.
perfect. So so I don't suck up the Wi. And guys, by the way, this is how you do things as startups. You literally like figure them out as you go along.
Yeah.
So we're having issues with our Wi-Fi, so I've disconnected my Wi-Fi so it doesn't slow you down, so that the lovely fans can still submit questions.
Okay. So this is from Hillary Ann Russo. She asks, what do you do if you are a generalist and many different things interest you, career-wise or with business ideas? How do you decide which to pursue, especially if you can't integrate all of your interests into one career?
What do you do if you're a generalist and basically she doesn't know where to focus her
She's
passions
got a lot of hobbies,
or
yeah.
her career? I strongly believe that there's got to be one that stands out more than the rest, right? I mean, but if you're not sure and you think they're all equal, then maybe go really hard at one for a period of time and then go really hard at another one and keep going hard at all of them until you realize, you know what? My natural talent aligns with my hobby here.
Right.
And there's an ability to monetize off of that as well. So I think you've got to give each one a sure shot and a 100% chance of succeeding before you make any decision. Or even, and then maybe you find out you're good at like 2 out of 7 and then you mix those two together.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've managed to do like the fitness and the clothing, right?
Yeah.
These hobbies that you
Yeah.
have together, you've managed to find a way to really blend the two.
Yeah, and for me, it took time. It wasn't like, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. Like, the clothing line came after the YouTube channel, and then we started, doing cooking and stuff, like, into that. Like, we did it one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. The truth is, to be truly successful at something, I believe that you need to go really hardcore and focus really hard on this thing so you get it, like inside and out, before you start spreading everything so thin. Because then your projects don't get the best of you. It's not really fair to its success.
Yeah, it's kind of going to that 10,000 hour notion of like, to master something, you need to be doing it for 10,000 hours until you're considered a master. And you can't do that if you've got 20 different things that you're doing.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go down a path and go, wow, this actually isn't for me. But you need to go down a path.
Yes.
And so if you have 100 doors open, like which door you actually going to step through? Close the rest, go through that door, go deep, go hard, and then if it doesn't work or you don't like it or you realize, wow, I love doing this, but I don't want it as a career, walk back out that door, close it, open another door. But again, like you have to know, you have to go hard to know whether it's right for you or not. And I think that's something that people try, like, but I love this and I love this. Like for me, I love drawing and I love
Oh my
art.
gosh. And Lisa is so good at drawing. I don't know if you've seen her Instagram, but you are an artiste.
Oh, thank you.
That is what you are.
Bless ya.
Incredible. Like you put my little fashion figure drawings to shame. Like it is, you are so good.
That's so kind of you. I do love it. And my mum was always like, hey, why don't you do this as a career? Because she knew how much I love it and loved it. And then I realized I don't like people telling me what to draw. And I realized if I was going to make a career out of it, it would have to be to start the business, I'd have to do art for other people and get my name out there. And I realized that it takes away all the fun. So literally now I never draw. I've never sold a piece of art in my life.
Wow.
I tried to do online web design because I was like, okay, I'm going to take like the design skill and take it online and I'll design websites for people. Well, I started designing websites. I did 2 and then hated it. Because every time I would present designs, they would choose the one I actually didn't like, except for I was always trying to push the one that I loved.
Yeah.
And so all artists out there that work for other people, like I so admire that because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I decided it wasn't for me. So even though it's a massive hobby of mine, even though it's something I love, I chose to not do it as a career and I had to sideline it. And the sad news is now I don't have time to draw. But I've made that choice, right? I've made the choice of the career path that I'm going to go down and love.
Yeah.
And I just know that it doesn't now give me time to draw, but I'm okay with that. So.
Makes sense.
All right, next
Okay, well, I
question.
think it's time for the rapid fire round.
Oh, we
Rapid
have a
fire
rapid fire round.
I love how like I always clap when I'm in the podcast room. I
Oh,
don't
really?
often like just clap.
That means you're excited.
It's actually true. It's a visual demonstration. Like maybe people in the podcast, like if they're listening, they can hear me clapping. All right, so we've got rapid fire. We loved this so much in our last one.
Because it's so scary. Okay, we have to do a better job at answering fast. Last time we took too much. Okay, I took too much time.
I was gonna say, I think you did.
Okay. Also, I think we explained too much. I think we should just give our answer and move
All right,
on.
so maybe Michelle has to scream or like, we
or
should
go 3, 2, 1.
or have her bring a taser and just tase.
Oh my gosh! Have you seen a taser in action? That's
I
really
have a
violent.
taser.
Well, you have a taser?
So
So how does it?
I have a taser and a baseball bat and a panic alarm so that when my husband leaves and goes on a business trip, I have all of them next to me. So just
You
try
know
and break
what?
in.
You know what? That is a really good idea because one time when Sam and I were at home, we heard this mysterious knocking at 4 o'clock in the morning and we were like stiff frozen, terrified.
Really?
Did not have a weapon in the house except for a hammer.
And so you're going to hammer them
So
together.
we grabbed a hammer and we slept with the hammer like this. So yeah, I'm glad you have a taser.
Only because literally like, I'm one of those people that I don't like the what ifs. Like,
yeah.
oh, but what if I wasn't prepared? So I just think of every scenario and then just prep for those scenarios. And now I can...
That's good. Man, if
to
Sam
charge
wasn't
my
home,
taser.
I would just sleep with all the lights on.
I'll lend you my taser.
Okay. I'll still sleep with all the lights on.
Okay.
I'm a scaredy cat baby.
All right.
Okay, here
so
we go,
I've got
here we go,
taser
here we
in
go.
hand.
Okay.
All right, so I'll ask you first.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Rapid fire. Would you rather lose all of your memories from birth to now or lose your ability to make new long-term memories?
Lose all my memories from birth.
Wow, that's a good one. Okay. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life?
Ooh. An adult.
Would you rather give bad advice or take bad advice?
Oh, I'd rather give that advice.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you, I think you didn't even hesitate. Would you rather never touch another human again or never touch an electronic device again?
I would never touch an electronic device again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Would you rather have no one show up at your wedding or no one show up at your funeral?
No one show up at my funeral because I'm dead
I was
anyway.
going to say you won't even know,
Whatever.
right?
Who cares?
And guys, like, I hope you guys were answering as we were reading them out. I love these things. Thank you, Michelle, for putting
These
them
are
together.
so fun. I feel
They
like
are
we should
so
do
fun.
them at the beginning of every episode. Okay, maybe not every, but like
Yeah.
they're actually really fun.
They're a lot of fun.
and they're very telling.
And so, yeah, I really hope we should maybe post these or something so that people can answer them.
Actually, yeah, we should. We should. Okay, are you ready, Lisa?
All right. Guys, answer along with me.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay, and can't take too much time.
Okay.
Okay.
I love game shows. I feel like I
Okay,
need
here we
like
go.
a tick
Here we go.
up.
Would you rather speak all languages or be able to speak to all animals?
All languages.
Okay. Would you rather give advice to your past self or receive advice from your future self?
Ooh. God, neither. Because past self, it means that I wouldn't be who I am
No,
today.
that's not
and
a part.
future.
No. You gotta pick one.
Oh, man.
Give advice to your past self or receive advice from your future self.
Past self. Because I like the exploration
Okay.
process.
Would you rather go through life unable to answer any questions or unable to ask any questions?
Oh, answer any questions.
Okay. Would you rather never mentally age or never physically age?
Oh, mentally age from now?
Yeah.
Okay, then not physically age.
So you would rather never physically age because you feel
But
confident mentally now.
hang on a minute.
Okay.
Oh, here's the thing. Mentally age is in like, can I still grow? Or like I've stopped my mental growth from now. That's a difference.
I mean, okay, let's pretend mentally age means getting wiser.
Okay, I'd rather not age mentally.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. If
Is
you, no, that makes
I
sense.
don't want to, like, I don't care about my physical.
Right,
physical, yeah.
You got it. Okay, last one. If you were reborn into a new life, would you rather be alive in the past or the future?
Alive, like if I could choose like an era?
Wait, hold on. If you're reborn in a new life, would you rather be alive in the past or in the future?
Future for sure.
Okay. And that is it.
Yeah. All right.
Yay!
That was so
was
much fun.
fun.
I also like kind of find myself like wanting to explain my answer
Yeah,
as well.
but you can't. You
I
can't.
can't.
Okay.
I think we're going to post these
That's a
People
good
can play
idea.
along.
That's
a good
awesome.
idea.
So
That's a good idea.
Michelle just said that we're going to
Stay tuned for
post these as polls. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a suggestion from Maria. from
Oh, thank
Facebook.
you, Maria.
thanks,
Great
Maria.
idea.
Yeah. Okay, so we have more questions.
All right.
Yay.
From Denise. What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just thought of a Friends quote. Denise. If you're a Friends lover out there, you know what I'm saying.
What do you do to help motivate people? I want to be a good influence on people and help them live happier and healthier lives, but I don't want to be naggy or pushy.
I think it's totally easy to positively influence people without being naggy or pushy. I think that's like two totally different things. I think the naggy or pushy comes from imposing your ideas on someone without taking their feelings into consideration. You just want them to believe what you're saying, but you're not actually trying to convince them about what you're saying. So it's almost like influencing from here on top of the person's head versus influencing from inside the heart. And that's exactly what the difference is. So if you actually really care about someone, you'll try all the different avenues of trying to get someone to understand where you're coming from. So maybe it's not talking straight in their face and telling them, you need to eat this and you need to work out this many times a week. Maybe it's like, hey, come with me to my pole dance fitness class. Let's see if you like this. And like, you start influencing them from the inside. And so I think it's very easy to not be naggy. But you have to realize first that you're being naggy, and also look into their eyes, look at their facial expressions, and see if what you're saying is having the right impact that you want on that person.
Boom.
Yeah. By the way, we need to go to a pole dance fitness class
Yeah, I know. We've been talking. We really do.
for like 3 years.
Yeah. Literally 3 years been talking about it. Yeah, I mean, drop the mic. That wasn't a great answer. I don't have anything to add to it.
So we're done. With
Yeah.
that? We're done. Okay, cool. Next one.
I really do think that that's exactly right, though. Everything you said.
Yeah. I mean, I've just had people do the top down talking to me,
Yeah.
and it's just like what happens to me is I turn my ears off, I turn my heart off, and I'm just like, no, like
Yeah.
get away,
Yeah.
like it's not working. And then when those type of people don't realize that that's what they're doing, they do it even harder because they're like, oh, she's not listening. Let me penetrate more, and it just becomes it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next question.
from Renee. Do you have any tips for college students on how to stay healthy and active during a busy semester?
Ooh.
You want to take that one?
I think this is your world. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Like, I didn't really think of fitness when I was in college. So I guess I could relate it to like my life now and being busy.
Being busy.
Yeah. And it's just, what was it? Balance? No, what was it? Sorry, Michelle, can you repeat that?
Stay healthy during a busy semester.
Stay healthy during a busy semester. I kind of go back to identity. Like for me, my identity is I eat a certain way because it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I'm able to accomplish great things. So I remind myself of who I am. And so that just kind of reinforces the food that I'm grabbing every day. But if it's not just food and it's working out, again, it kind of goes back to identity. Like, what do I pride myself on? And I pride myself on is being the person that goes to the gym and works out. But also, I so love the process of doing it that I don't have to force myself.
Right. It's a part of your lifestyle.
It's a part of my
already.
lifestyle. But yeah, what
So, college or school is a very busy time. I'm actually very glad I don't have homework anymore, though I still stay up really late continuously working because I love it. So it's just a different mindset. Anyway, if you are finding that it's really difficult to eat healthy in the cafeteria because there's so many temptations, and trust me, I gained the freshman 15. That happened because when I walked in, I was like, oh, French fries, hamburgers, pizza, and all the soda you could ever want. Yeah. And then I would just
heaven.
This is heaven. I would eat everything, and then I'd be like, oh, what? Oh, like my jeans aren't zipping up anymore. And then you realize, because here's the thing, when I was in high school, I was a part of the tennis team, and so I naturally had my workout. I never thought about it. And so once you're in college and you don't plan your practices or you plan your workouts, like all of a sudden you realize, okay, this is something you actually need to think about. And so what I would recommend is that if you have a planner or use your Google Calendar, like literally schedule in your workout 7 a.m. on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, for example. I'm going to go to the gym and work out. And it'd be even better if you could say what you're going to do. Like today's going to be a treadmill day. Today is going to be weightlifting. Today's going to be the Pilates class at the rec center. Like pick something and go to it, because if you don't write it down, you're not committing to it. And I'm very much a write down, cross off type of person, and that's how I stay on task.
And that's actually a good point. Like, know who you are. Like, if you're a person that loves working out in the morning, then don't try and push it off till the evening, because I'm never really gonna do it. So, or if you're a person that works out in the evening, like, then schedule your stuff accordingly so that it gives you that free time. But if you kind of stumble through the day and then get to 8 p.m. and you're like, oh god, I haven't even had a chance to work out, like, you're not actually setting yourself up for success. And that's one thing I always say, like, set yourself up for success, be honest about who you are and your habits, and then kind of adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and if you feel like you're the type of person that may not have individual motivation, and that's totally fine, like join an intramural sports club or like a dance club or something like that. And part of the way I stayed fit in college, well, I taught Pilates like a few times a week, so that was my main workout, but I also was a part of a ballroom dance club, and so we would get to dance, and so that was my physical activity, it was my social activity, and so I just thought that was really fun. So if you are finding trouble, find other friends who want to be active too, because they're going to knock on your dorm room door and be like, hey, you're ready to go? And I mean, you can't say no, right?
Being held accountable.
Yeah, being held accountable for positive things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's cool. All right.
Next.
Oh, and if you're just joining us, please do throw in some questions and comments in the box so that we can answer live.
Yeah.
And then also, guys, if this is bringing you value, please do share it. That is our one ask for today, is share this feed so that we can be all Sheroes together.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay, question from Nisha. What has been the toughest aspect of being a strong woman entrepreneur, and what has been the most rewarding?
So the toughest aspect and the most rewarding aspect?
Yeah, being an entrepreneur.
Let me see. I don't even want to say what's the toughest or most rewarding in terms of being a female entrepreneur. I just want to say in terms of being an entrepreneur. Because maybe it's just me, but I don't really take my gender into account when I'm heading into a room and I need to present something, whatever. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm aware of it, but I don't let it hinder me from anything that I think I can or cannot do. I just really don't think about it. I mean, I've been in huge meeting rooms full of older white men, and I walk in and just realize, okay, there's a bunch of older white men, and that's it. Like, I don't make it, and I've many times. In fact, I find it really empowering. I kind of love it. And I've done this too in like legal situations, which can be very scary. But I did something like that, and it was on, I believe, like Women's Empowerment Day or Women's Equality Day or something, and I felt like extra, like, yeah. Cool. Anyway, but the toughest thing that I've had to deal with in terms of being an entrepreneur is finding trust with people. And I think this goes for my personal relationships as well. But when I was younger, I just grew up, I guess maybe more on the naive side, believing that everyone always was looking out for me and always wanted the best for me, and that I could, if I were willing to do something for them, they would do it for me too. But believing that has hurt me in business and in personal relationships. So now I'm super cautious of who I work with, because I've been burned quite a few times. I don't even talk about it. I mean, you know about it, but only my closest friends know about it. And I think the sooner you learn that, the sooner you learn to really analyze people with a critical eye, and of course give them an opportunity to open up to you, then you're going to save yourself from a lot of heartache and legal trouble and things like that. The most rewarding thing, I would say, is simply, I don't know, I guess something very simple, is the first time I saw someone wear one of the clothes that I designed, like, randomly at the airport. It was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, they like believed in me and they bought it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so I think that was one of the most rewarding things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the people underestimate you thing. Like, I think that that's kind of like the underdog. You know, you go into a meeting and there's a bunch of older people, whether they're men or typically men, but they have looked at me in the past of like, well, you're young and you're female, so what do you know? And there's something empowering to then surprising people, like going into that meeting knowing more than anybody else in the room is very powerful. And knowing your stuff, right? If you go in and you don't know your stuff but you expect to be taken seriously as an entrepreneur, whether you're a female or a male, it doesn't matter. Like if you want to be taken seriously, you got to know your stuff, and you got to go in with full confidence, but also be very open to being taught. Because if you go in there thinking that you know everything and someone actually pushes your idea or your notion, and then all of a sudden like, oh my God, like if you can be open to it, you could learn so much from that meeting. But if you go in saying, I'm a woman, I know what I'm doing, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to kick butt, like you're closed off from learning from experiences, and you become arrogant. And I think there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. So I do feel like I've been in situations where being a female has, I think I have been tested more.
Okay.
Can't really think of a specific example right now, but I definitely have felt that in the past. And I just think it's, okay, well, go in there, be humble, learn what you can, but be confident, ask questions. And if people look down on you because you're a woman or because you're young, then I don't care. Like, as long as I'm getting stronger every day, like, don't let other people's opinions influence you. And then to the most proud moment is funny because it's with Quest with me, where the first time Tom and I, are you okay?
Let me grab.
Do we need a water? Poor woman. I'll just keep riffing. The first time Tom and I saw a Quest bar out in the wild, like where it wasn't within our community, because we'd gone to events and like everyone knows Quest bars. You're around fitness people. You're in the gym. Like all of those people are part of that community.
That's natural habitat.
It's kind of natural habitat. But when you're out in the wild.
Like with regular people.
Yeah, so Tom and I were in New York actually.
Yeah.
And we saw a Quest wrapper on the floor in the street.
Yeah.
And we were so excited. Now, of course, we didn't want... It's like littering. Like, I mean, we didn't litter, but we saw trash on the floor. And because it was Quest, we kind of felt responsible. So we picked it up and put it in the trash can, but put it with a label facing up. So that, like,
because it all matters. It all matters. Every view.
But it was that first moment where I was like so excited that I'd seen a Quest bar out in the wild.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So that's what I can't wait for this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
When we start wearing this stuff and it's out in the wild.
Oh yeah.
And people know, and it doesn't say be Sheroic, and people just see our logo.
Our little logo. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That was a good question. I like that one.
That was a good one.
Okay, so another question from Juan, I think is how you pronounce the name.
Like Juan or One?
W-A-N.
Juan.
Like the number.
Okay.
Imagine you're going to die. What is one piece of advice you've learned from your life that you would tell people before you die?
So if you're about to die, what is the one piece of advice you would tell people? God, it's going to be cheesy, but like, do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I would have to say something like choose love. Also cheesy, but honestly, if you're about to die,
I know.
like happiness and love, like
Yeah.
that's all that really matters.
Yeah, there's so many external things coming our way, right? Like, how much money do you make? What car do you drive?
How many followers?
How many followers do you have? How many friends do you have? Are you married? Are you in a relationship? Oh, you're single.
Oh, how big is your ring? Like,
yeah, like all this stuff
who cares?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like when you're on your deathbed, none of that matters. No one else is gonna think like, oh, love your Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
No one's going to care. So, or you don't care. Let's face it. If I'm taking my last breath, I don't care what car I am in, what house I live in, what job I have. I just want to know, like, wow, was I happy? That's it. Was I happy?
Agree.
All right. From Lucy, how are you sure you found your dream job?
How are you sure you found your dream job? Are you ever sure?
I feel like I'm sure.
Really? But don't you evolve?
Yeah, no, but I think my dream job is always evolving.
Mhm.
But I feel like I am where exactly I need to be. Not that doesn't mean I'm going to start new businesses or whatever, because that's going to happen. But what I'm doing right now as a creator, like, I love it so much. But how I knew, man, I remember I was in Fremont, still living at my parents' house. This is when my failed attempt at my dream job in Boston didn't work out. And so I would, like, go to the gym, like, for hours a day because I had, like, nothing else to do. And I just remember being on a treadmill running, and I kept thinking about these designs that I was going to make one day. And it just made me run faster and faster. And I was, like, tearing up in my eyes as I was running and listening to music and just being so, like, pumped up. And I was probably listening to something silly, like this Jordan Sparks song that says one step at a time.
Yeah.
Because I was stepping one step at a time and, whatever. And I just felt like one day I'm going to achieve this. And so now, obviously, we have a clothing line in addition to a bunch of other things. But, like, I just feel like I knew in that very moment that that's what I need to do for myself. And, it makes me so happy to be able to keep creating things that make other people happy, too.
That's cool.
Yeah. How about you?
I like to have a bit of dissatisfaction in my life with what I'm doing, because it propels me to then do better, or, like, what's the next thing. But that's just a personal trait. Like, that keeps me going. That helps me think outside the box. I don't like to ever be too comfortable. But I think really the questions you ask yourself is, like, how do you feel on a Sunday night? Do you dread going in?
Yeah,
there?
that's
like,
a great question.
Like, that's why, like, honestly, when I see posts where it's like, thank God it's Friday, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
Because if you're so excited that it's Friday, because it means that you get to do, you have 2 days where you're not doing what you're doing from Monday to Friday, you're doing the wrong thing.
That is such a it's a very telling question, because when I was in Boston, every Sunday night, I would legit cry. I would lay in bed and just cry. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, like, it dawned on me, like, if I go too many, let's say Sundays in a row, where I'm like, okay, it's Monday, I'm like, you got to change, right? Because I should be so excited that it's Monday morning, because it means that I get to hit the ground running. And even though I say that, like, you do as well, we still work on the weekends.
Oh, we still work on weekends. We work at night because it's so fun.
Right.
I don't know. I just love it.
Right.
Yeah. And even, it doesn't mean fun like it's a party, but, like, it's the process of knowing that you're laying the foundation for the next big step.
Right.
It, like, that just propels me, like, forever. Like, I just love it so much. And so sometimes Sam and I will be, like, trying to take a break, and then we were just like, I don't know what we should do. Should we just work? We're like, yeah, let's just work. So, like, we'll sit on, like, the couch at home and, like, leave the windows open and, like, have a TV show on in the back or whatever, some nice music, be like, but we'll just be working. Like, it's just like, I don't know, I just love it.
Yeah. And that's when you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Tom and I, we try to have certain, like, rules within our relationship. We work together. And a big thing is, like, on weekends, I don't mind talking about work, and he doesn't mind now. He used to hate talking about work on weekends.
Okay.
But if we talk about work, it has to be something exciting, something you're looking forward to, or something you just can't wait to, like, get your hands on. But neither of us can talk about problems.
Ah, so that's a good idea. Okay, that's good.
So, for instance, we're building a new set at our house, and so I love talking about it. I love talking about the creative and the design and what it's going to look like and all the cool shows. I'm not going to talk about, oh damn. I was about to swear there, sorry guys. Oh damn, I'm over budget. Or, oh no, what are we going to do because this thing has fallen through? Like, no. So those are just my personal rules. On weekends, I don't talk about problems, but I don't mind talking about work. But again, yeah, if every time someone brings up work, if every time someone brings up something that you're doing career-wise, and you get that, like, that pit in your stomach, that dread, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I agree with you on the problem thing, because I guess for me, like, I talk about work all the time when we're at home, at work, or whatever, and it got to a point where Sam was like, Cassey, you were talking about work way too much, and you need to stop. So then we kind of sat at dinner, and I didn't know what to talk about. I was like, so how's your family? Okay, cool. How's your sister? The plants are doing well. Like, and then
what do we talk about?
We clarified sort of that, like let's just not talk about the problems going on.
Right.
Where it's not that we can't talk about work, but
Right.
because it's a
It's
common
who
thing
you
that we
are.
share. So I agree. Like problems are its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So you need some time off from problems, not
Exactly.
really from work.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, next question.
Question from Amanda. What is your favorite healthy go-to meal?
Well, we eat very differently.
We do. Why don't you start?
All right, so it depends if I'm on a ketogenic diet or if I'm on a high protein diet, because those do vary for me. If I'm on a ketogenic diet, I get really fatty chocolate that is ketogenic friendly chocolate.
Okay.
And I melt it in the microwave, chop it up, melt it in the microwave. I get my macadamia nuts, I pour them in, I stir it, I then flatten it out and I put it in the freezer.
Oh, so you make your own chocolate bar.
I'm making my own chocolate
Oh,
bar.
look at you. Are you going to start selling this now?
I don't know if it's shelf stable.
Oh, I see.
But it is a great go-to keto snack that I've learned to love. And the reason why I don't just have the chocolate by itself is I actually can't stomach too many artificial sweeteners. So I just take a tiny bit of chocolate, but I'm adding more calories and substance by the macadamia nuts. So it ends up being like a really nice treat for me. If I'm doing protein snacks or protein food, I do this thing for Tom and I on the weekends where I get Quest chips. So I get the Quest salted chips and I put them out on a baking tray. And then I order pizza, but without the sauce. So it's basically cheese and then whatever toppings you like, so vegetables or whatever. I scrape it off and then I put it on the chips and then I bake it. So they're kind of like nachos
Yeah.
with cheese and all the toppings. And because I'm just really lazy and I hate cooking, that's why I just order pizza instead of like do my own toppings. But it becomes healthy nachos.
Very cool.
So those are my healthy nachos. What about
I
you?
think my favorite meal that I like to make, and if Sam does it with me, it takes literally like 7 minutes and we're done. It's Vietnamese spring rolls, and so it's the rice paper. And then we fill it with butter lettuce, because that's my favorite type of lettuce. It just tastes the sweetest. And then I have, oh, excuse me, my throat has been weird today. But anyway, I get these sriracha tofu block from Trader Joe's, and I just like chop it up into thin slices. Then I saute it on the pan in sesame oil for a second just to make it hot. Then I fill it up, wrap it up, and then I put it in our own sauce, which is hoisin, sriracha, and lemon juice, and then you dip it, and that's it.
Wow.
I love
That sounds
it so much.
intense. That only takes you 7 minutes?
Yeah, and then because it's like you DIY at the table, so you have a bunch of these rice papers and you dip it in the water, then it softens and you do it. And it's like making mini burritos. And then I love eating mine with my sriracha tofu. Sam eats his with grilled chicken, and then it's very non-traditional Vietnamese, but it's our own thing. And it also gets you to eat a lot of lettuce. So I love that. It's quick, which is something that's a big deal for me when it comes to eating healthy. Like I just want to eat when I'm hungry, and I don't want to wait.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more quick question.
No way. Is the time up already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Only
These
one more question.
Only one more question. All
From
right.
Mandy. Would you ever make a workout video with Lisa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait. Why don't we film our first pole dance class together?
Oh, God. Oh, no. You've said it on live. Now we can't take it back.
Okay, I'll text her some other options on the side.
But one thing that we have done, though, is we didn't film it, but one thing we did is we went to the gym and we did 30 minutes where I trained with you and then you did 30 minutes where you trained with me.
Right.
We could maybe do something like that.
Right, you trained me in shoulders, because obviously.
The shoulders.
And then I trained her in splits.
And I still laugh at that photo, by the way. Cassie's doing like these beautiful splits and I'm literally like this.
You're
that's
just standing.
My splits. That's my standing. But yeah, I guess heart to this video right now if you want to see us do a video together.
No, because I asked the popsters, I was like, hey, I want to try doing like some new content for the fall. And they were like, we'd love to see you. Oh, I know what it was. I posted a photo on Instagram of me doing aerial yoga. And so you're in these straps and you're flipping in the air and stuff.
Insane.
And I'm terrified of being inverted. And so I talked about how I overcame my fear of being inverted, la, la, la. And then I was like, do you guys want to see me do other things? And they're like, yeah, so
All right.
maybe we have to turn it into a video to finally get ourselves to do
All right, let's
a
do
pole
it.
workout.
All right. As long as no one judges me. If I judge me, it's fine. I don't care.
You know what, Lisa? I'm going to give you till the bachelorette party.
Oh.
Because that's going to happen.
All right.
Whether or not we do before then, we're doing it
I
at the
actually
bachelorette party.
wanted a pole in my house.
Oh.
Yeah, I really wanted. I don't know how to do the dancing, but
I'm sure
yeah, I was
you'd be
like,
so good because your arms are so strong and really hold yourself up
well, I
there.
thought if it's in my house now, it kind of forces me to like, wow, I've paid for it.
but then
it's
you
in my
gotta,
house.
like-
I've got to do it.
But then would you hire like a private instructor or something?
Maybe.
I mean, I think you have
But
to.
maybe the fun is doing it. I actually have done one class, and I know we're wrapping up, so sorry.
Yeah.
I've done one class. If you guys have ever been to Vegas, I don't know how old the people watching are, but if you've ever been to Vegas in the Planet Hollywood, they have like pole dancing, but it's kind of like for bachelorettes.
Oh, like
and so
sexy style?
It's kind of funny, yeah.
I like the fitness style
I know,
ones
it's
where
not
you're like...
fitness at all.
It's just like...
So, all right. So we will do a fitness video together.
Yes.
In fact, that's another poll we should take. What fitness video do you want us to see? Do you want it to be a pole class? Do you want it to be weightlifting where we do like 30 minutes of each other's workouts? What does that workout look like?
I bet they want to see an arm workout video.
Nom?
But let's see.
All right.
Let's see. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Facebook. Again, we really appreciate you guys. We're so honored that we get to have conversations, very open, honest conversations with you guys. If you loved what you saw today, if you want more, just go to Sheroic.com. All our episodes are there in video format and podcast format.
Nice.
And if you could just share this video, it would mean the world to us.
Absolutely. And all together now. Until next time,
Be Sheroic!
Later,
Bye.
guys.